Hello, everybody. I'm Lofi.
I'm Jinxie.
And we are back with Game of Thrones, episode 2?
Yeah. Season 4.
My favorite part, I think, was Arya getting Needle back. Totally important to the entire plot, but it was my favorite part. Jon had his little trial where the Maester
Aemon shut it down.
Right.
And was like, no.
Yeah. You're like, you're all just being ridiculous.
Yeah.
Let it go. Jamie is back and adjusting to his new life without a hand, and how his relationship with Cersei has changed.
Sorry, I'm just thinking of Arrested Development when Buster loses his hand and all the handoff jokes and missing hand things. Oh, okay.
So apparently, if you have any good Game of Thrones Arrested Development meme crossovers, Jinxie would like to see them.
Jamie clearly wants everything to return to the way it was, and obviously, like, things are changed between, like, him and Cersei and stuff. But Brienne is trying to make him realize that he's different too.
Well, yeah, and partially that he has a duty. He made a promise to help take care of Sansa.
Yeah. Dany's storyline, which I'm finding so far so boring. This is partially a holdover from last season, which I also found boring because most of her action happened off screen. She's just traveling to another city at this point, and I really hope the writers do something. The thing is, even if she's still just traveling to another city and conquering that one over and over again,
Sorry, go ahead.
If they would just do it on screen instead of off screen like they did last season, I would be interested because I do love Dany. Prince
Rue, I think, didn't it start with an R?
No.
Oh.
Oberyn. Oh yeah, I really liked him because he hates the Lannisters. I was trying to think of, like, why did I like him again?
Oh yeah, mutual hatred.
He hates the Lannisters. I'm kind of hoping that he'll team up with Sansa, maybe sort of, I don't know, because Sansa obviously...
She needs something.
Yeah.
Poor girl.
Yeah, it's kind of sucky about Sansa's position so far because we get to see Arya grow, but Sansa's, like, kind of stagnating a bit at this point.
And not really because of her fault. Like, she just doesn't have anything else to do. She's literally... The only person in a crappier situation than her is Theon.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but at least Theon had, I feel like, some growth where he, like, turned bad and then...
Yeah. Really, she just needs to get out of there. Like, until she leaves the capital, there's not much for her to do.
Yeah. Yeah, like, if she was actually doing stuff in King's Landing, like, if she was working the situation kind of like Marjorie's family is, that would actually be really interesting. Yeah. But unfortunately, they don't let her do anything.
Well, she kind of can't, because if she did, at this current...
Yeah.
With the current political standing.
If she took advantage of the fact that she's now essentially married to Tyrion, is essentially a Lannister, then, almost in quotations again.
Right.
Then, like, I think that she could pull something off. Yeah. Anyway, I have high hopes for Prince Oberyn.
Right. If all else fails, he'll at least make things interesting.
I feel like, I feel like it's Oberon. Oh gosh.
Oberyn?
Now I can't remember.
Well, the subtitles will tell us. I know what we forgot to mention.
What?
The Wildings. They met up with the cannibals.
Oh, the Fens, yeah.
Yeah.
So clearly they're still prepping to attack Castle Black, which Jon's warned them, but honestly, I don't know that they're making a lot of preparations for this attack, because they're just like, whatevs, we don't believe you, even though we totally should.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they prepare for that. And then, yeah, like, how are the Wildings going to work together? Because they've never worked together before.
Yeah.
Like, this is the only time they've ever been united, and obviously there's some very different opinions within the Wildings.
I mean, everybody knows cannibals are the worst.
Right.
So they're probably the worst.
We've got our Reavers. We've got... I can't think of the other, like, serious cannibals. Besides, Wendigos.
Yeah, Wendigos.
Wendigos and Reavers. Always bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, without further ado, let's get into episode 2.
Oh.
Because of that Theon back there?
That's Theon, yeah. I think they're hunting her.
And they're just making Theon go along?
Yeah. Oh, I don't want to... God, I hope there's not, like, a ton of this season, because I don't want to watch this.
I know. I don't think anybody likes this stuff. Oh, my goodness.
Like, is this just to demonstrate how awful he is?
Because we already know how awful he is.
Look pretty now.
How awful they both are.
Yeah. Poor Theon.
I know. Why haven't you just, like, killed yourself by now, to be honest?
To the proud Lannister children,
The dwarf, the cripple, and the mother of madness.
I'll clean it. No, I'll do it. Leave us.
It's only wine.
He's like, I've spilled many, many wines before.
Learn to fight with your other hand.
With whom? You? Men talk. As soon as someone discovers I can't fight, he'll tell everyone.
Well, what about his
You need a proper, discreet source.
Oh, yeah, what about his people?
Yeah.
I have just the one.
Yeah. Tyrion surrounds himself with some very good people. Bronn and Pod.
He finds very loyal people. And partially because he treats them well.
Mind yourself.
I still have my right hand.
Plan on growing it back.
I think it's good for Jamie to surround himself with Tyrion's men.
Yeah. I mean, Bronn doesn't really take any shit.
Right, as long as you pay him, he don't give a damn about you.
Yeah. Which can be a relief for him, I think, because he worries so much about what other people think about him, like him being a Kingslayer and stuff like that. He visibly worries about stuff like that.
Yeah, he's a perfect person to train him because he literally doesn't care.
So Bolton's. No!
Father, welcome home.
Waldo, this is Ramsay Snow, my bastard.
A pleasure, Mother.
Hello. Oh, she's gonna think he's nice. He's not nice, Waldo.
I can't wait till y'all get your comeuppance. That whole guest thing. Wait for it to happen.
Took a hand from the Kingslayer.
Word travels. How he screamed. You would have loved it.
Now your all's relationship makes so much more sense to me.
We've been flaying our enemies for 1,000 years. The flayed man is on our banners.
My banner's not yours. You're not a Bolton, you're a Snow. As long as the Ironborn hold Moat Cailin, our armies are trapped south of the neck. Theon was a valuable hostage.
Not anymore.
Lord Greyjoy refused. Savages have
You sent terms to Balon Greyjoy without my consent.
Busted.
I place far too much trust in you.
I feel bad for you, but I don't.
Tell Father. Where are Bran and Rickon still?
No. Ugh. They're gonna be looking for them then. I mean, Bran's beyond the wall, so he's
Right.
okay, but Rickon is still there.
Oh, that's right, Reek. Robb Stark is dead.
His best friend.
I don't want to watch this.
Gather whatever men you can and ride for Moat Cailin. Bring this creature of yours. Maybe he'll be of some use.
Or
maybe you'll cross his sister and she'll take you all down.
Oh, that's a freaking hope. It's interesting because they don't have any armies, or they have just a little bit that they brought, because the Ironborn are blocking them from going back to the north, which I think is really interesting.
Shay has been noticed.
Oh, yeah. Shay!
I'm so worried for her.
Me too.
She's the whore I told
I just hope she escapes.
Dark
and doesn't die.
Have I brought to the Tower of the Hound before the wedding?
Talkie, you gotta
You
work
need to-
fast.
Oh, careful, Your Grace. Nothing cuts like Valyrian steel.
So they say.
Wow.
What are you gonna do, Tyrion?
He could have just left. They all could have left together, especially now that he's married to Sansa. It would have been good for all of them,
Yeah, all of you take off.
right?
You're afraid of your father and your sister. You're going to run from them all your life. I'm not afraid of them. I'm not going to run from them. We'll fight them together. It's like you said. I am yours and you're mine.
You're a whore!
You know he doesn't mean it.
Oh.
You'll have a comfortable life in Pentos. Bronn will escort you to your ship.
I mean, if she gets out alive, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Follow her.
Here's the thing, I don't feel like it ends this way.
Of course not,
I think something's gonna happen to her still.
right?
Accept these tokens of our faith, my lord, and lead us from the darkness.
I think this is going to be a very depressing episode. Based on all the shit we've seen so far. And the shit we're watching now.
You're
are the stars that guide
Are you kidding me? She's literally burning her brother?
Well, this is what fanatics do. Nothing stronger than a human sacrifice.
They're with our Lord now. Their sins all burnt away. Did you see?
I'm sure they're more than grateful, my queen.
Oh, Davos. I don't know how you're gonna get out of this situation.
I don't think he can.
I don't think so either. It sucks because there have been moments where I think that Stannis could have turned away.
I think he's just too far gone. He's too focused on his winning.
You think she's sweet because she smiles when you visit. She is sullen and stubborn and sinful. Why else would the Lord of Light have seen fit to mark her face? She needs the rod.
She's my
Oh
daughter.
my god, don't hurt
I will
her.
not strike her.
Oh, good.
If you're trapped in summer for too long, you'll forget what it was to be human.
Uh-oh.
You'd forget us, Bran. You'd forget your mother and father. You'd forget your brothers and sisters. You'd forget Winterfell. You'd forget you. And if we lose you, we lose everything.
I still wish I knew more about them.
Those two, yeah.
Yeah.
That was Ned Stark's eyeball.
Look for me.
Does he have to find the crow?
Yeah. The Raven, you mean?
Raven, sorry.
You saw a lot of shit, man. Definitely a dragon above some city, but I don't know what city
I'm
it was.
assuming this city.
Yeah. King's Landing?
It looked like it was King's Landing.
Yeah, I think so too. Marjorie, your wedding hair is hideous.
It's very 80s. I kind of expected her dress to be more dramatic.
Me too.
I don't dislike it though.
Me either. I like it. I just don't know if it feels special enough.
With this kiss, I pledge my love.
Poor Marjorie.
I think she's pretty good at handling him though so far, so hopefully she can keep it up.
But her whole life just spent with Joffrey.
Yeah.
Wouldn't wish that on anyone.
You ought to try enjoying something before you die. You might find it suits you. Not now, Mace. Lord Tywin and I are speaking.
Is that her husband?
No, I think that's her son. She's
No.
the grandmother of Marjorie,
Oh,
and that's
gotcha.
her son.
Everybody loves a fire breather.
Is someone following them?
She's gone. I know you don't want to believe it, but she is. Now, go drink until it feels like you did the right thing.
See.
I mean, I hope she successfully escaped and then they can meet up later, but I
Right.
don't know.
Or even if she's successfully escaped and she's gone. I just don't want her dead.
He might be able to afford to bring you to High Garden for a visit. Now that peace has come and all is right with the world, it would do you good to see some of it. You must excuse me. It's time I ate some of this food I've paid for.
I do really like that she's nice to her.
Yeah, me too. Even if it's like for different,
Right.
you know,
Reasoning.
ulterior motives.
Off you go.
Poor Marjorie. Like, she was obviously enjoying that.
To thank the gods for bringing the recent war to a just end, King Joffrey has decreed that the leftovers from our feast be given to the poorest in his city.
That's totally her idea.
And I mean, if she can rein in Joffrey's cruelty to just his inner circle, then hooray for the city.
If you were to marry Cersei, she'd
Oh,
marry
God.
you in your sleep. If you somehow managed to put a child in her first, she'd murder him too, long before he drew his first breath. Luckily for you, none of this will happen, because you'll never marry her.
And neither will you.
I mean, I don't want Loras to marry her anyway, because I do think she would kill him, but it's funny. Some entertainment.
In truth, he rescued me, Your Grace. More than once. Did he? Haven't heard that story before. Not such a fascinating story, I'm afraid. I'm sure you have many fascinating stories.
Are you jealous?
I think she is.
Must be exciting to flit from one camp to the next, serving whichever lord or lady you fancy.
She's not sworn to your brother.
Would you love him?
They went through emotional times together,
Right, and
okay?
it's not like she would ever, like, do anything with it, really.
Yeah.
She's just not that type of person.
Yeah.
Like, She shows her affection by, like, being a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Queen Marjorie.
The Queen is telling you the leftovers will feed the dogs. Or you will.
Oof. She felt out of control after that conversation with Brienne.
Well,
And just, like, took it out.
This whole wedding.
Yeah.
She has to feel power somehow.
But I think she'll be going up against Marjorie now for this. And it's just like, I don't know.
Lady Cersei. Ilaria-san.
My lord.
Whoa, check out her headpiece.
Mm-hmm.
I expect it is a relief, Lady Cersei, giving up your regal responsibilities. People everywhere have their differences. In some places, the highborn frown upon those of low birth. In other places, the rape and murder of women and children is considered distasteful.
Yeah.
What a fortunate thing for you, former Queen Regent, that your daughter Myrcella has been sent to live in the latter sort of place.
I think I like him more each time.
Because he doesn't take people's shit.
Yeah. The thing is, he doesn't have to because he's a prince. So,
Exactly.
I mean, like, there's that factor.
I mean, at least he takes advantage of it in a not horrible way.
I give you King Joffrey, Renly, Stannis, Robb Stark.
Oh my goodness. Everybody's just like, oh.
Let the war begin!
This Sansa's face. Mm-hmm. And Loras is upset, too.
Well, because he was in love with Renly, so...
God, just look at Cersei laughing. She's awful.
I mean, and Marjorie was married to Renly. Like, obviously she didn't have, like, the same attachment, but...
I'm sure she's upset on her brother's behalf, though, because...
Obviously. Well, and also it's just horribly distasteful. Like, do you want your wedding to be, like, remembered as a mockery?
Mm-hmm.
So it's basically what you're doing right now.
Oh, I think she's gonna cry.
And she doesn't have the luxury of running off.
Yeah.
Just close your eyes, girl.
One taste of combat was enough for me, Your Grace. I would like to keep what remains of my face. I think you should fight him. This was but a poor imitation of your own bravery on the field of battle. Show everyone how a true king wins his throne. Be careful, though. This one is clearly mad with lust. It would be a tragedy for the king to lose his virtue hours before his wedding night.
That's what you get for trying to one-up your uncle, who is very smart.
Oh god, what's he gonna do?
My love, come back to me.
Oh.
It's time for my father's toast.
Nice save, Marjorie.
How did you expect me to toast without wine?
Oh. This episode.
All I think about it, though, is just makes Joffrey look bad more than anybody else.
Everybody else is kind of, like, embarrassed. Like, except for Cersei, who's smiling.
Mm-hmm. Well, she has nothing good in her life, so she can only take joy in other people's pain.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I'm done with this.
Kneel. Kneel before your king.
Honestly, it's so good if they got Shay out of here.
Yeah.
Because if he ever found out about it...
Kneel!
Look, the pie!
She's just like, any moment, please.
Yeah, she's just trying to desperately recover the situation. Everybody's like, look away, let's look at the pie.
That face.
Oh my god. I don't care how much you want it, we're not doing that at your wedding.
I don't. Not on my to-do list.
Birds in pie?
Oh. It was literally...
Do they really eat it? The birds were on there.
Uncle!
Oh, Jesus Christ. Let them go.
If it please your grace, Lady Sansa is very tired.
No, you'll wait here.
Is he choking?
I think he might be.
Oh, well. Is he gonna have to give him the Heimlich maneuver and save his life? Because that'd be hilarious.
He's choking!
Help the poor boy! Idiots, help your king!
Move away!
Is he choking or is he something in the
I don't
pie?
know. I don't know.
Come with me now.
Joffrey!
If you want to leave,
Oh, did he do it?
you have to leave.
Did he do it?
Yeah, maybe.
Did he poison him?
Maybe. I'm thinking so. He doesn't look like he's choking to me.
No, this is straight up like...
Yeah, this is definitely poison.
Darn.
Did he do it so that he could save Sansa, though? Since he wanted to help her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's looking at Marjorie.
Oh shit, they're gonna blame Tyrion.
It's not like he knew what was happening, though.
No. I'm so not sad about this. Haha!
Right.
He poisoned my son. Your king. Take him. Take him!
Why would you think that? You're such an idiot.
I know.
Take him!
But what does this mean now, though?
Then Tommen is king. The other son. Who we rarely ever saw because he was a little kid.
Right. Well, because then it's also that, like, Marjorie is still technically queen now, right? So...
Oh, you're right.
Because they're married.
How does that work, though?
Like, do they just have a regent until he's old enough, then?
Yeah, because we don't actually know how their inheritance works, so we don't know if she can hold the throne as just a queen.
Right, without having a child.
Yeah.
At least not being pregnant.
Yeah.
So
it could be that, or it could be... Yeah, I suspect they'll have a regent unless he grew up a lot. Like, I honestly can't remember how old he was. Joffrey seemed actually quite young as well. Like, I mean, he's not young, but, like, you know...
I think I believe he was already at least, like, 10 years old, if not... Between, like, 10 and 13, I want to say. Yeah.
When we first saw him?
Yeah, because he was older than his sister, right? Or was he younger?
I think he was younger. It's hard to tell. Marcella was sent off to Dorne so long ago. Either way... Either he's king or there's a regent for him, which would probably be his grandfather, I assume.
Yeah.
I'm not... Okay, so this whole episode was honestly depressing. Like, I'm happy that Joffrey's dead.
Right.
But the whole rest of the episode was so depressing that it's hard for me to, like... And it was more like Joffrey's death wasn't like, yeah, he's dead! I mean, there is a bit of that, but there's also, like, it's about time is really more like...
Well, it's more of, though, like, what is the repercussion of this? Like, obviously, like, do they really think Tyrion did it? Because, like... Hello?
They literally saw him pour it in. Like, everybody was watching.
Right? Do they think he just had to have a poison ring on him just in case? Like...
Yeah, there's, like... I don't know. So let's talk about Sansa leaving. I'm so excited.
Right. The question is this, like, leaving?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, the thing is, what I love, too, is that this guy came out of nowhere. I mean, he didn't really, because he was there in season 1.
Yeah.
I think, and she saved him way back then. And then, like, for him to just... He appeared in the last episode and gave her the necklace, and then, like, appeared which is kind of a nice little background thing.
Like, which makes me partially suspect that it was him that did it, or him with some other people, some of those background people, because it would make sense for, you know, some of the staff to be the ones who caused this to happen. Because also, honestly, I think, like, the... lesser borns are the only ones ballsy enough to do it at the wedding.
Yeah.
I don't think the other ones would do it at the wedding because it'd be too suspicious. So I wouldn't be surprised if he, like, started a plot with some other of the, like, servants and stuff to poison
be honest,
him
though,
and get her out.
If it wasn't him, there are a lot of suspects, okay? There's the Marjorie and her and Loras and
but I don't think
them, and then there's Prince Oberyn and his group. I mean, there's a lot of people that could have poisoned him.
Yeah, the prince could have done. I don't think it was Marjorie and them because I think they would wait till Marjorie was pregnant.
That's
just
true. That's
that they solidify their place.
Yeah. Joffrey was just so awful that honestly anybody could have done it.
Right.
It could be secretly Shay. Like, you know,
which
maybe she escaped and she decided to kill him.
Like,
you know what I mean?
This.
Like, there's honestly a lot of people that could have poisoned him. But everything else was incredibly depressing. So we saw more of the Boltons. I did find it interesting how Lord Bolton kind of shut down Ramsay and then...
Which I'm here for.
But I don't really want to watch any of those scenes. It's just like...
I'm here for when they get their comeuppance, and that's the only other scene I want to see.
Yeah, agreed.
We've got Bran and them across the wall,
which was also a bit depressing because Bran is clearly entranced by the fact that he can warg and then like he can walk while he's warging or whatever he's doing.
He at least is given like a purpose now with that last vision that he had, so hopefully that'll give him like a goal. Because I get like, you know, being across the wall, you're kind of just wandering around. They don't know where they're going, so it's kind of like, what else are you gonna do but try to find the joy because you're away from your family in this whole new place, and so you just want to get lost in like the one thing that like makes you happy. So hopefully him having like a purpose now will help him get out of that.
And then when as you pointed out earlier, we don't know much still about Jojen and Mira, the ones that are with him, the Reed children. And I guess I didn't notice before, but I am kind of disappointed that they're really only there to support Bran's plot in the way that they haven't really done much with them or gone into their history, or like they couldn't survive without Bran's plot, basically, which is fine. There are characters that are like that, like for example Bran or something, who supports Tyrion stuff, but for them there's so much mystery that I kind of wish we got more from them.
I wish they focused more on like, because obviously that whole side of Winterfell and stuff is supported by like the old gods and that whole religion, and we're finding out so much more about like the Lord of Light and all that stuff, and like the thing with the old gods, it's been there like just sort of under the surface each season, but with this focus on like the other religion and everything else going on, I just really from the beginning I was really fascinated by the whole gods thing, and I'm sort of sad that we haven't gotten more of that. Like they sort of sprinkled it in at the beginning and then they've kind of like dropped it for now, so I'm hoping they bring it back.
We also honestly don't get to see much of the North stuff. Yes, there's the Boltons, and I think we've discussed this before, how like we didn't know much about the Northern houses or like anything about the North. It's like all about the South all the time.
And then the Starks.
And it's kind of just like, I wish I knew more about the North. And like, I didn't even realize that they couldn't literally go back to the North because the Ironborn are holding Moat Caillian. Like, I've seen a map, okay? Like, you guys have given us, like, maps and stuff, but I didn't realize that they basically just, that one castle prevents the entire armies from going into the north. Like, you can't cross anywhere else, I guess. So, it's like, I don't know. I kind of wish that we know more of the North as a people.
Yeah, I think that's one of the downsides of having so many characters in play and having such short seasons, is like you have to cut things, and there's certain things that I wish they kept in versus cutting, and certain things I wish they had cut to make room for that other stuff. Yeah. Just in terms of like what I'm interested in. This is why we really need to watch that history documentary everybody's telling us to watch. I bet you it goes into that. But I also kind of enjoy us not having watched it, because then I really like can see, as somebody who hasn't read the books or watched the history, I can have that like just as a series opinion, even though I do really want to watch it. But it's like that idea of like, do I want to know more of the whole universe, or do I want to focus on this one entity of it first and then like expand so that my reaction is like purely this. But at the same time,
there is this factor of like, when, for example, when I bring up something and maybe I didn't realize the motivations of something, and then someone will post in the comments, oh, the reason why this happened is because of this, which might have been in the books or something. And I'm like, but just because that's in the book doesn't mean that the show is showing that to me. So like, you know, it's just like the difference between people who have read the Harry Potter books or have only seen the movies. They're like, don't understand why certain things happen. They don't understand why Harry got together. Can I finish? Yeah. They don't understand that why Harry got together with Ginny, because they didn't show that in the movies a substantial amount. And so people are like, well, she's like way more cooler in the books and stuff. And then it's just like, well, if the movie didn't show it to you or the show didn't show it to me, then it didn't actually happen. Like, you guys can they can tell me all I want, like, this is what happened, but unless the show can actually demonstrate that to me, or like, it doesn't, you know what I mean? It's like, it's a failing of the show then. Yeah. It's not like...
not a failing as like the universe as a whole, but sometimes it's like, is it better to keep it close to the original, or is it better to change it? Like, speaking of Harry Potter, like my favorite movie of Harry Potter was number 3, which is the most different from the books. But as a...
Which one's number 3? Prisoner of Azkaban?
Yeah, Prisoner of Azkaban. And I feel like as a movie as a whole, that was the most, like, well done, because it was when
that was stopped. Alfonso, whatever. Yeah. He didn't even read the books, right?
Yeah, so I think as a, like, even though it was the most different from the books, I think it made for a much better movie, because he treated it as its own thing and not playing as if he's only playing from the other source. So it's like, accuracy is good, but accuracy isn't good if you don't have that connection to it, because the whole point is to connect to the characters and the storyline. And if it's just in there because, well, it happened in the books, so it's got to be in there without building it up
in the show,
just not as impactful.
I don't remember what we were originally talking about, guys.
Well,
how did we get on this subject? I'm sure it had relevancy, but now I've forgotten what the original. Anyway, let's just go back to, I guess,
to the actual show we're watching. But, yeah.
I guess I just wanted to say that because I don't want anybody thinking that, like, my criticisms when that kind of thing comes up is, like, criticizing, like,
the whole game of
or universe, that I don't understand that there might be a motivation that's happening off screen. It's just that I'm not going to, like, that's not what I'm...
We want to rate the show on the show's merit. And then maybe after we, like, watch it all, we'll go through and check out all the other things. But yeah, like, I want to rate the show on the show's merit. I want to take it for what it is. Just, that's the kind of, I feel like, the kind of reaction I want to do for this series. Like, for certain ones, I do like to have the backstory. Like, it's really interesting to have all that backstory, but there's so many, I don't know, there's just different ways of reacting to things and watching things, and for Game of Thrones, I think since it is such a popular series, that I guess I have a certain expectation out of it.
But, so the show, this episode,
even though it's a depressing episode, I liked this episode. And I think because you at least, even though it was all, like, bad news, I feel like
bad news bears.
But I feel like it really at least focused on the relationships between people, which is, I think, for me, one thing I really like about this
It's
show.
just definitely the strongest parts, I feel like.
And so, like, even though, like, it's also, like, even though seeing Theon again just always sucks, at least this wasn't, like, him in a torture room. There was some emotional aspect to him about finding out that Robb is dead, and that you also got to see more of, like, who Ramsay is as a person and what created him into this horrible person. And, like, also,
it made him a little less one note once he encountered his father. Like, you could see on his face, like, how much he wanted his father's approval and wasn't getting it.
I forgot about how connected, like, his father is to that other guy whose name I can't remember, the one who cut off Jamie's hand. Bad at names, and realizing that they're all of the same house, and it makes so much more sense.
Quick question: was the blonde girl that they were hunting in the beginning the blonde girl that was, like, tricking Theon before? I wasn't sure if they were just both blonde, so I wasn't sure if they were the same person.
It was the same one.
And then the other depressing storyline, was that it?
Well, that and the Capitol.
The whole Capitol thing, Sansa being treated like crap, and Shay. Oh, Shay. So, first of all, he got her out of there. I don't know that she is, though, because I just feel like it ended a little bit too easy and clean. But then again, it could just be that she's just off to the side for now, and then we'll encounter her again later.
Right.
You know, like, maybe Tyrion does eventually leave with Sansa, and Sansa's already gone, but...
going back to sort of the plot of who killed Joffrey, like, because when you said that it was her, I was like, I don't know, but she could be in the plot. Because if the Fool is in on it, and then she's also a handmaiden, and she was in on it.
Yeah, she's Sansa's handmaiden.
Exactly.
So it's like...
And then with him... And so, obviously, like, they have that camaraderie around Sansa, both of them.
Yeah.
And I think there are other people in the Capitol who obviously had camaraderie to the Starks before all this happened.
Or that they just hate Joffrey. A lot of people just seem to hate Joffrey, so...
Good reason.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like I said, it could be that whole sort of... It could be just the people who are, like, lesser born being like, we're done with this. You all are crazy for letting this person be king.
Yeah.
Because they see it firsthand. Like, how many people has he just ruthlessly killed for no reason? Like, the sex workers and stuff. Like, if that's the case, and if they're bringing Sansa to her,
that would be so cool.
Together,
that would be so cool.
I feel really bad for Tyrion, but he had the opportunity to also get away and chose not to.
Yeah.
And I get that. It's like,
I am kind of really nervous for Tyrion.
Me too. But I'm hoping that they'll rein it in, because I don't think his dad wants him to be considered, like, a king murderer, because that's really bad for your name.
Yeah.
And family drama. So...
Yeah, you'd think Tywin would just shut this down pretty fast, because, like, he doesn't want that kind of attention. He does consider Tyrion a Lannister. He said it a million times, like, well, I would have killed you if you weren't.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, I really feel like...
Yeah, I think they'll realize
this is not good. He would not consider this good publicity or even a strength for his family, because he wants a united front of strength all the time.
Which is not. If your uncle kills the king, like if the uncle of the king kills him, then that's definitely not a united front.
Yeah.
I do feel like next episode we're probably going to see a lot of, like, everybody blaming him and stuff, but I think by, like, the episode after that, hopefully we'll see who they actually think did it.
Yeah.
And go from there.
We saw a little bit more of Prince Oberyn, which I think was really fun. And we also kind of got that the mindset of Dorne is actually quite different. The way you're describing it. Like, his paramour or whatever, she's a bastard. And he, like, legit doesn't care. And it seems like that she seems to be well respected in their country, regardless of the fact of her birth.
Well, it's also, I feel like there, maybe it seems more, less, like, to like, make it the equivalent of, like, our times. Like, it seems less, like, Christian, normal, like, one partner monogamy idea and more of, like, a freeform kind of thing, which is also probably why bastards aren't seen as such a bad thing. Like, you don't just have, like, your secret side person. It's, like, more polyamorous.
Yeah. Because he's not hiding her at all. Like, he's, like, straight up.
And she was there when he was, like, going to be, like, sleeping with other people. And
yeah. So, I mean, I'm really interested to see, actually, like, how much more of Dorne. And obviously, they're the only ones we've met that... Besides, like, where Dany is, the only ones that we've met that are in Westeros, I assume they're in Westeros, because I think the way they describe it, if I remember correctly, they are, that are princes. Like, everybody else are just, like, lords to the king, whereas he's, like,
actually
a
like,
prince of another
royalty.
place. So, their culture must be different enough, I think, than the others for that. So I don't know where I was going with that. Basically, I'm really interested in seeing like what his place is like.
Right. And where is that where they took shade to? Was it Dorne or was it somewhere
else?
Said
something. I think he said like Pentos or somewhere like where Dany is or has been. I don't know. The names escape me of places. Marcella is in Dorne though.
Yeah.
That's what she sent off to.
I do hope that as the series goes on, we do get to see more of the other countries. And I don't just mean like Daenerys passing through them. I mean like actually interacting with the people of the countries, because I do find that really interesting. Like when we did focus on that one city that she was in, and just that at the beginning,
Karth.
Yeah, like focus on Karth and stuff. I just find it really fascinating. But yeah, I think that's all our thoughts for this episode. They're kind of all over the place. There was a lot of feelings.
Really weird one. I think it's because this is a very much clearly, besides the fact that Joffrey's dead, this is very clearly a build up for the season kind of episode, like setting up stuff for that's going to be happening later. Like I assume stuff is going to happen with the Boltons later, that something is going to happen with Bran later, that like all this stuff is going to happen later. So it's hard to discuss it because these plots have not finished or gotten to a point that is even discussable. So
and like I said, this episode was just very focused on like relationships and stuff like that too. So that gives you a lot to talk about and a lot of feelings and everything. So.
Like episode 1 was recovery, episode 2 is like setup.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes from here. Thanks for watching this with us. Sorry I was so all over the place this time around. Don't forget to like and subscribe and put your thoughts in the comments. We obviously had a lot of them and we'd love to hear yours.
Yes.
And we will see you all in the next episode. Bye!
Do I have lipstick on my teeth?
Just reapply it. No, you're good.